Hello, sir. I'm Anand. Sir, can you guide us through your literary life a bit? And also, can you give an advice to the modern generation of writers? What is the one quality that a writer should have?
One thing, you posed the question that should come at the last, but then you started with that question. I don't believe in giving advice. I never took advice from others. And I think everyone who aspires to become a writer, here he should look into himself, find out if there is the urge. Is it because of, why are you writing? Is it because you want to make money? Is it because you want to become famous? What is the purpose that you are taking to pen? So once you are sure that you have the inner urge to write, then only you take to pen. Of course, I don't blame others who would write. Let them keep writing. But if you really want to become a writer, then you have to have the urge to write. The other question, I'll share my experience, but then it is not very important that way because every writer has a different process in his life. So everyone has a different take on this topic. And I don't belong to a writer's family or artist family. I belong to a small shopkeeper's family, and I have been a shopkeeper. I recently closed my shop around 13, 14 years back because I thought I should dedicate myself to writing, reading and writing, because reading and writing go hand in hand. If you don't want to read and you want to write, then you will not be able to write anything worth reading. So keep reading and writing automatically comes to you. That is what I believe. So I retired from my business. I'm a shopkeeper, as I told you, and I never had regrets that I am a shopkeeper. When I started writing, I just graduated from, I started before even going to college, but then after graduation, Goa was just liberated. And there were a lot of opportunities waiting for the people who wanted to be in service with the government or any other thing. But then I preferred to remain in the village with my rural folks, to remain connected with the people. And that is probably because of that I could write something of substance. So see, one thing I observed, the magic of your mother tongue. When the last session was here, there were more than 100 people standing outside. That's simply because they could hear the author talking in their tongue. It's not happening here. In my case, I'm talking in a language which is not mine nor yours. And yet I expect people to ask questions. Of course, I don't expect big crowd here, but I'm very happy to interact with the people who are interested. Yes, please. Any other questions, please?
So since you are also a literary critic, how does that sort of influence the way that you write, both novels and screenplays as well?
My own writing you are talking about? First of all, I am not a critic as such, but then I write reviews and I write to encourage the budding writers. So it is Asvadak Samiksha, to encourage them. So I don't go into the depth of it. At the same time, about my own experience, I'll tell you, because of my compulsions and probably that is the process with me. When I write in one sitting. So when I start writing, say at night, generally most of the earlier stories I wrote in the night after closing the shop, after putting children to sleep. Then I took the pen and started around 10, 10:30, 11. And then went on to write and finish the story by 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning to attend the shop next day morning. So I never reread the story once written and never rewrote any story so far. Not because I'm not boasting about it. The process of writing differs from writer to writer. Some people prefer to rewrite several times and some people do not. It doesn't mean that one is superior and the other is not. It is not so. Please don't take it that way. But I do write at one sitting, at one go. I never felt the need to rewrite or improve upon what I have written or improvise any stories. So once I had a writer from the United States, Victor Ribeiro, and he read one story and he asked me the question, how many times you rewrote this? I said, I never rewrite. So he was surprised. Then he went through other stories and then he told me his way of telling it. But he said, that is because the writer in you, the author you are in you, and there is another person within you, that is the copy editor. The copy editor and the writer go together hand in hand as I write. And that is the reason why I don't feel like rewriting, or I don't feel like to improvise on that or make any changes. Hardly I have made any changes. Like in the novel Carmeline, it was written in 1978-79. You can imagine. I am very happy that even today people ask me questions about Carmeline, or it matters for many. So when I wrote it, I had to interview quite a few people, around 50 to 60 people, because I had never been to Kuwait. More than half of the story happens in the Kuwait, land of Kuwait. So I have never been to any Arabian country, nor outside India also. But I had to heavily rely upon the people's opinions and people's experiences. So I went on to interview about 50 to 60 people, men and women. So and then I came to conclusion that now I can write, and within 20 days I finished writing the story. But there was one mistake, factual mistake, which I was brought to my notice by somebody, some reader who had been there. And he said, I had written there that Carmeline, who is working as Aya in Gulf country, she gets a telegram on Friday. So somebody brought to my notice that in countries like Kuwait or any other Arab countries, the letters are never delivered. There is no postman. So letters are put in the post box. Then the very purpose of bringing up that, very purpose of bringing up that topic and building up that episode would have failed. So what I did is I inquired with others, I interviewed others, went deeper into it, and then I found some alternative which I used. So hardly a para I had to change to make it realistic. So such things happen.
सर, आजकल लेखक सच कह रहा है, सच कह सकता है, सच कैसे कहना है? आजकल सच कहने से लेखक को कैसी परेशानियां आ रही हैं?
हर एक स्टेट में आप देख रहे हैं अपने अपने अनुभव है. इन कर्नाटका वी हैव पीपल, वी हैव इन मलयालम लैंग्वेज यू सी many authors. Right now we have Murugan, who is addressing some other session, who has faced the persecution. It's either persecution comes from the public, from your own society, or some other community, or sometimes it comes from the people in the dispensation. But we have to be ready for that. Writers are never supposed to appease the people or make popular appeals. No. Whether you like it or not, it is your view. You should be true to yourself. And about the truth, I can tell you, truth is that which truth in literature or truth in any art is that whose opposite also is truth. So it is not to confuse the readers, but to think independently of their own, what is the truth? So truth, you cannot say this is truth, this is my truth. It may not be your truth. So we have to be careful. Of course, in the sense, we have to be frank enough and bold enough to express yourself. Unless you are, convinced, if you have the conviction, you should have the boldness to express. That's what I have been doing it, and I have faced many problems, but then I never regretted, nor I felt any enmity about others who are opposing. When Carmeline was published, there was hue and cry from a writers' community itself that I have written that to spoil the name of the Catholic community and all that. But who stood by me was the Catholic priest. He said, no, he's telling the truth, we have to face it. So we have people among the readers who prefer to know their own wrongs and believe in their own truth.
When Gauri Langesh was assassinated, there was a threat against your life also.
Yes.
It is said. What was the reason, sir?
I don't know, but it is true that when I think SIT was sitting on that problem, they investigated and they found my name on the hit list. I never bothered about it. But then the central government gave me the protection, security, which I did not want it. I said, no, I don't want. Then they said, you can't deny, or you give in writing. I gave in writing, yet they said, no, we have instructions from above. It is not the state government which is giving, it is provided by the central government. I always wondered, why should they, now it was about 7 or 8 years back, 2018, I think, 7 years back. Why should they continue? I wrote 2 letters subsequently also to withdraw it. Not because I don't want it. They are very good people, the protectors who come with me. But then they have their own life. But then I was trying to go into the reason behind giving the protection. One is to give protection, superficial reason. But the other probably is to know where I go, whom I meet, who comes to meet me. So, okay, I have nothing to hide. So I'm very happy. So no issues. They are with me, like my friends, like my family members. We have, and sometimes I make friends. Now I have another Mr. Basavaraj here, who has joined me yesterday. But I'm sure by the time I leave here, I'll have another friend in Karnataka. So anyway, that apart. But we have to take everything in our stride. Yes, please.
Sir,
The mic here, okay, please. Yeah.
sir, you have said that you have to read a lot before you write and all that.
Just for
You have to read and then only write. Without reading, writing is of not that encourageable and things like that. Now, the biggest book that we have around is the society that we live in. And the way that the present society is moving with a little bit of hatred among the people and all that. So how do you take these reading from the society to make your writing? I have got another question also. You said that is your right, that is my right. How that can exist? So that is exactly a situation we are facing recently. This is my right. This is you can have your right. How can that be there in the society? So there can be a certain right which is acceptable to the whole society.
your voice is not very audible. Please hold it. Yes, please. And be brief. I'll answer it. I got the gist of it, but yeah. Will you please repeat in short? Yeah.
The biggest book that we have is the society we live in.
Yeah.
So from the present situation that we have to certain element of hatred of the people from people, how do you take that book, the book of the society, in writing this? The second aspect is You said your right and my right. How that can be? There can be a right acceptable to the whole society.
To answer your first question, yes. Unfortunately, as a naive person, I always felt that we are, as a society, we are making advancement as we read and as we move in this cosmopolitan society. We will, discard all the earlier notions that we had about discriminations within the communities, but it is not happening. The reasons are not social, the reasons are political. Our politicians strive on keeping the strife alive, keeping the discriminations alive. That is the reason. It hurts me. It hurts me, but I won't hit back. I would try to write in a manner which will convince the people that you don't fall prey to it and accept it, but don't be victim to it. Accept it and try to do your effort, put in your efforts to improve the situation. And that is what we are doing now. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been here. I would write rather, the readers should know my ideology. Whether they like it or not, that is different. But they should know, they can read the reader in his writings. So if you like the writing, which means you like the views of the writer, and then if you agree with the views, then try to put in practice. That is what I believe in. But one thing, we can't change the society. I'm not under, naive beliefs that we can change the society. Many people, many writers I know, they say my writings are such that the readers will find their own wrongs and they will try to improve upon it, or they will try that will change the society. It is not so. We cannot simply believe that. But we have to put in our efforts. That's what I feel.
Excuse me, everyone. So I will be taking last one question because the time is up. And later he'll sign the copies if you have bought any in the dusk.
Namaskara, sir. You mentioned that when you write a book, you write in one shot and you don't, think again about it. So don't you overthink that, don't you reread it, like how could I improve this even more? Like for example, if I write an essay of 1 page, I'll read at least 5-6 times and see how can I improve it. So don't you do that, or?
You write in your own language?
Pardon? Like,
do you write in your own language?
Like Kannada? Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, I never felt the need to, because I think when I write, it is the writer, an artist in me who prompts me to write. So I don't write. And when I read it again, it is I who read as a reader. So when I can't interfere with the writer's ways, I feel that artist is right in his own right. So I allow the artist to keep on writing. And now, for example, in Carmeline, when I ended the novel, then the publisher, it was sent to the publisher. Publisher said, he requested me to change the ending. He said, it looks like an ending of a short story. Why don't you make it add some 20 pages more and make it an end of a novel? I said, I have never written it as a novel. I started writing as a short story because I believe I am a short fiction writer. So then it took its own progression and went on to end here. And I think this is the perfect end to that piece of writing. So I did not fall prey to his request. I said, no, I'll end it here. I'll prefer to end it here. And that is why, but then I never regretted it. Because as I said, it is the artist within me who has the urge, and that is a different person from me. That is, I'll say, a dual, I don't say personality, but it's I myself as an alter ego of that person. So this is, of course, I don't want to give a philosophical or spiritual touch to it. But yes, I never felt the need to write or change. And as I said earlier, the process of writing differs from person to person, from writer to writer. So nothing to boast about it. And another thing, I started writing, my first story was published in 1963. You can imagine, more than 60 years I've been writing. How many stories I've written? Not even, hardly touched 100, you can say. If 100 stories are written in 62 years, you can imagine how many stories per year? Hardly, not even 2, just about 1.5. So I'm I'm not a voracious, rather prolific writer. I write when I have to. When I'm prompted to write, and I can't just remain aloof, or I can't close my eyes to it, then only I start writing. And that is why hardly 100 stories have been written. That is the way with me, not with everybody. It may be different with Mira, it will be different with Kadir Babu. There are different writers, different ways of writing, but nothing is wrong in it. So, well, yes, please. Any other questions? I hope, yes.
Sir, conviction which you arrived at one fine day or over a period of time?
Yes, over a period of time. But my conviction is from my reading. So, right from my adolescent age, I have been reading. I am a voracious reader. And fortunately, there was no guidance given to me. There were no teachers who told me, go for this and don't go for that. But somehow, I could, differentiate between good books and bad books. I've written many, many bad books, which I felt later, I felt that it was a waste of time. But when I read good books, I took the best things from the books. And accordingly, I rather constructed my thinking. And today, what I am, but I always keep changing according to times. In sense, if I feel I was wrong on this, yes, I accept it. And I improvise on it, or improve on my ways, or change my thinking, but not the ideology. Basic ideology is the same. I believe in the strong elements like feelings like love and compassion. And I believe compassion is more important than the love. Of course, they go hand in hand. So I have my own ways of looking at this strife, but I never blame others. Of course, there are people whom I blame because they are doing it deliberately. But if somebody is doing it not deliberately, but because he thinks he is right in his own thinking, then his excuse. I'll give him time to improve his way of thinking. So if I look at Mahatma Gandhi, I look at Savarkar, I look at others. So I don't blame anybody. Maybe they are the product of their time. But I like to go into the deep of the roots of their thoughts. Why do they believe in this? What made them? I live in Goa. I live in a village which is 97% Catholic and hardly 3% Hindus. No Muslims, hardly any Muslims. But I never felt the othering factor living in our village. You can see my writings. I write both about the Hindus, about the Catholics with the same ease. But I don't choose the characters as Catholics. They come as my characters on their own because the need of the story demands it. So what I say is, I never felt that othering factor, nor the others in my villages. Others, I'm sorry I had to use that, but others don't feel me the other. So we are one with the villagers. And that is why probably you will find the same element in my writings also.